Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. I have been enjoying your work and your discussion boards, and I hope that you're enjoying the class and that you're learning a lot from the information that's provided to you through the coursework. We're continuing to look at how we can better support, better communicate with diverse family structures within our school system. And you're going to be doing a lot of great reading this week. And I think that the first piece that you're reading, which is Tips to Support Relationships with Diverse Families from the Pacer Center, um, uh, Champions for Children with Disabilities, says so much. There's so many good points in there. I'm sure many of you are already doing these things, but sometimes we as educators, we don't think of all of the things that we could be doing or how diverse families could be. And I love the opening line that says, as professionals, special educators have an underlying goal to establish good relationships with the families they serve. While trust and collaboration are always important in these relationships, there is another level of expectation added when the meetings and services provided through an IEP, Individualized Family Service Plan, and IFSP, occur in the family home. When working with families from diverse communities, the typical challenges are often compounded by differences in language, culture, and tradition. The initial contacts provide the opportunity for the family to view the school experience as positive and responsive. Opening your home to someone is an act that implies a sense of trust. Um, there were some interesting conversations that I had with people during the pandemic that were surprising to me. Uh, because during the pandemic, when we were online, we saw things in homes that we were not privy to when a student was in our classroom. And we were able to get a better snapshot of, what was going on in a student's home at that time. And I remember one of my students, I'm just going to talk about a couple stories very briefly. One of my students who had been really smart, very involved in school, but had been struggling prior to the pandemic to get to classes on time, to get to school on time. I mean, she was very bright, so if she missed a week, she was able to make it up. But we didn't really have the entire picture of what was going on, and some of the educators in our group, this is high school, were thinking that maybe she was ditching because she was smart and she could catch up, or that she wasn't paying the respect to their class or their curriculum that they thought should be paid, respected to it. And during the pandemic, what we witnessed was a young 11th grade girl trying to care for littler siblings while she was, trying to complete our classes. Um, she was in a single parent home, and the parent was working, and it was quite a handful. In fact, in one session, one of her baby siblings bounced off of a dresser behind her just in underwear and flew past the screen. And I was like, whoa. She's like, Miss Wood, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to turn off my screen for a minute and deal with one of my siblings. And I said, absolutely, you do what you need to do. So, getting to know our students, getting to know what's going on behind the scenes can help us to build better community. When my children were in middle school and high school, I went through a very horrible divorce, and I had always been involved, PTA and all of those things, and on campus, and helping out as much as I possibly could. But during that time, I went from, being a two-parent home to a single-parent home, going through a very tumultuous time in my own life, and continuing my education so that I would have enough money for my children. Um, and so all of a sudden, I couldn't be on campus like I used to be on campus. And I felt very judged. And I felt, and maybe it was just me, but it didn't feel like it was just me. And I felt like I had to over explain what was going on in my life. And then I still felt judged by that as well. So, we have to consider all of these things. Hang on one second because my husband is texting me. Okay. Apologize for that. He works upstairs and I work downstairs. Sometimes I never know when he's going to pop in, so just know he might pop in. Anyways, and the reason why I bring this up is because we also have children that have incarcerated parents that they love, they care for, that they're in contact with, have incarcerated parents that they are not in contact with. They often feel judged about those situations when they bring it to our attention, or when it comes out public in our attention. Sometimes we have students that are parents themselves, and so we want to consider all of these things and look at our own implicit biases and things that we carry with us that might read as not supportive, or something that they don't feel that they can approach you. So we just want to make sure that we're always trying to be on the right foot with family, and that we're doing our best to build community, to understand, to not assume, and find out more information. And one of the things that I love about the pandemic is that it did open up a world of understanding about families, and it opened up the idea of having Zoom conferences for parents who can't get to school, who want to be there but can't be there. Because they're doing elder care or working or child care or whatever. Um, I have had students who have lost parents during their time with me, and can't recover very easily, or have lost grandparents that have been integral in their lives, maybe raising them. So we have to look at all of these things and consider also language, first language, second language, culture, not only culture of a specific community as far as like Cambodian or Vietnamese or Tongva, but also culture, meaning, our social culture, what is important to us, how we communicate, and of course, tradition. So, when you're looking at the readings this week, I want you to think about those things. And I want you to think about how you can be open minded with all of your students, call them in, make them feel supported in your classroom as you're doing these readings, as you're considering this in this coursework, being reflective. This master's is to benefit and expand on your already vast knowledge of teaching. So I hope this week you will consider, um, how we bring people in, how we call people in, what we do to make people feel comfortable as we teach them that there is joy in academia and there is joy in learning. And have a wonderful week. Bye bye.